There comes a moment when everything you thought was right begins to fall apart. Plans collapse, people disappear, and the life that once made perfect sense suddenly feels foreign, like a dream you can't return to. But what if this isn't a mistake? What if confusion is not punishment, but protection? What if the silence of the universe is actually a redirection? You've been there before. You had everything planned. The relationship that felt certain. The job that was supposed to bring meaning. The version of yourself that had it all figured out. And then, without warning, something shifted. The doors that were once open began to close. The people who once understood you stopped calling. The path you thought was straight began to twist and blur. It's terrifying, isn't it? When logic stops working, and life stops following the script you wrote, we panic because we've been taught that confusion is failure. That if things aren't going our way, we must have done something wrong. But the truth is, confusion is the bridge between what was and what's next. It's the fog that forms when your soul moves faster than your plans. When you grow, your old world can no longer contain you. It cracks not to break you, but to let the light in. In moments like these, you question everything. Why is this happening? What did I do wrong? Why does the universe feel silent? You scroll through your phone looking for answers, searching for a sign, wishing someone could just tell you what's next. You replay every choice. You analyze every mistake. You try to force clarity from chaos, but chaos is not meant to be controlled. Because deep down, the universe is whispering, stop fighting the current. Let the river carry you. And yet, we resist. We grab onto what's leaving. We hold on to the old story because it feels safer than not knowing the new one. But resistance keeps you stuck in places you've already outgrown. You're trying to bloom in soil that can no longer nourish you. What if confusion is sacred? What if every unanswered question is a seed of divine timing? The universe doesn't always speak in words. It speaks in patterns, in closed doors, in detours, in people who suddenly exit your life, in the stillness that asks you to pause. When everything stops making sense, it's because you're standing at the edge of your old identity. You're being invited to surrender who you were so you can become who you're meant to be. In this video, I want to remind you of 3 truths about confusion and how to move through it without losing yourself. Even Carl Jung once said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." The confusion you feel is your consciousness stretching, expanding to hold more truth than before. Think of it like a snake shedding its skin. The old layer must be released, even if the shedding burns, because if it stays, it suffocates growth. Imagine a sailor who trusts the stars. He sets his course by what he knows, but sometimes the sea shifts. Winds change, currents move, and his map becomes useless. To the untrained eye, he looks lost, but the sailor knows, when the stars realign, it's time to let the wind guide. That's you. You're not lost. You're being guided by a wind stronger than your plans. You're being carried to the version of life that matches your soul's new frequency. When everything stops making sense, the first thing you must do is stop trying to make sense of it. The mind will search for control. It will try to label, fix, predict, but control is an illusion. What you need now is trust. Trust that your current confusion is not chaos, but choreography. Every delay has purpose. Every no is making space for a deeper yes. Every ending is a silent beginning. You're being redirected from comfort to calling, from knowing to feeling, from safety to soul. When life doesn't make sense, pause, breathe. Don't rush to rebuild. Sit with the stillness. Ask softly, what part of me is the universe trying to grow? If you're listening to this in the middle of your own confusion, try this simple manifestation practice tonight. Take a piece of paper and write at the top, "Dear Universe, I surrender what I don't understand." Then, without judging yourself, write down everything you're afraid of losing and everything you're trying so hard to control. When you're done, place your hand gently on that paper and say out loud, "I release what is not for me. Guide me to what is." This is not you giving up. This is you stepping out of panic and into partnership with the universe. It's you saying, "I'm ready to be led, even when I can't see the whole path." Hades' ode. You might not hear an answer immediately. That's okay. Stillness is the space where wisdom ripens. Meditate. Walk in nature. Write what you feel, not what you think. Let the universe rearrange your path without your interference. Because the truth is, sometimes the only way forward is through surrender. One day, you'll look back and realize every unanswered prayer was answered in disguise. That door that closed saved you from the wrong room. That silence was protection from a noise that would have drowned your peace. That ending was the exact plot twist your destiny needed. And you'll smile, not because you understand everything, but because you no longer need to. You'll see that divine redirection is not the universe saying no, it's saying, "Not this way." As you surrender, you begin to notice subtle shifts. Peace returns where panic once lived. Synchronicities appear, repeating numbers, familiar songs, unexpected opportunities. The path ahead glows softly, not in full clarity, but in enough light for the next step. That's how divine guidance works. It never shows you the whole map, only the next door. And each time you trust, the universe moves mountains in silence. You begin to flow instead of force. You begin to live instead of survive. Life feels lighter because you're no longer fighting what's leaving. You're allowing what's arriving. Here's what most people don't realize. Redirection is one of the universe's highest forms of compassion. It's life's way of saying, "I see what you want, but I know what you need." When you're on the wrong path, the universe will first whisper. If you don't listen, it will nudge. And if you still resist, it will shake your world until you move. Not to hurt you, but to wake you. Because your soul didn't come here to repeat the same story. It came here to evolve beyond it. Think of your life as a river. You were never meant to build a dam and stay in one place. You were meant to flow, to curve, to bend, to discover new terrain. When the river meets a rock, it doesn't stop and complain. It finds another way. And somehow, that obstacle becomes part of the beauty of its journey. That's you. The rock in your path isn't stopping your flow. It's shaping it. So if you're in that space right now, the in-between, the not knowing, the confusion, breathe. This isn't the end. This is the sacred pause before alignment. Your higher self is pulling you towards something your mind can't yet comprehend. That's why it feels heavy. That's why it feels unclear. The old frequency is fading, and your new reality hasn't fully formed. You're in the cocoon, dark, silent, still. But soon, the wings will unfold. And when they do, you'll rise with new eyes. You'll thank the moments that once broke you. You'll see that you were never lost. You were being rerouted home. Everything you prayed for was never denied. It was just waiting for you to be ready to receive it. The confusion was the compass. The delay was the direction. The silence was sacred. And now, you'll move forward not with fear, but with faith. because you finally understand that when everything stops making sense, it's not the end of your story. It's the moment your real story begins. So take a deep breath. Let go of the need to know. Let go of the urge to rush. Trust the timing. If everything feels uncertain right now, remember, you're not lost. You're being redirected. The universe hasn't abandoned you. It's rearranging the path to match the frequency of who you're becoming. You are not late. You are not broken. You are being guided. Right here, right now. And when you finally arrive, you'll realize you were never moving alone. If this message found you, it's not by accident. You were meant to hear this today. Let the words settle. Let the old story dissolve. And trust that what's unfolding is far greater than what's fading. If this resonated with your heart, like and subscribe, not for the algorithm, but for your own alignment. Because the more you listen to your soul, the clearer your path becomes. And when everything stops making sense, you'll smile, knowing it's only because the universe is gently guiding you to where you truly belong. And come back to this video whenever life stops making sense again.